Hi, my name is Mokoena. I'm playing for Portsmouth Football Club. I'm from the humble beginnings in South Africa, the dusty streets of Boipatong. That's where I was born and grew really. Moved from South Africa to Europe 13 years ago. I've been spotted. When I was a kid, but I never thought I would be a professional or international footballer before. I was involved in so many sports, but basketball was my sport really. So I've been fortunate. People came to watch me playing in the dusty streets of Boipatong in South Africa, and they invited me to come for trials, and fortunately I made it. Yeah, it's been a long journey, to be fair. I left the area where I was born in Boipatong at the age of 15 to go live in Johannesburg, which is the big city in South Africa. That's when actually I've turned a professional footballer, playing for one of the professional clubs in South Africa. Yeah, since then really it's been absolutely a smooth ride, I would say. Yeah, till I get to England, played for Blackburn Rovers, played for Portsmouth as well. It's been quite different. I mean, I played in different countries, I would say. In Europe, played in Germany for Bayer Leverkusen. I played in Holland for Ajax Amsterdam. I played in Belgium for Germinal Beerschot and Genk. And of course came to England in 2005, played for Blackburn Rovers, as I said, in Portsmouth. So basically it's been absolutely a difference in each and every step that I took. Different countries, different mentality, different approach in football. So it has been difficult, but I was quite easy to adapt, I would say, open-minded as a kid, and yeah, here I am today. My international career began at the age of 17. I was the youngest player to represent South Africa, and yeah, the age of 17 went on and on. Yeah, I became the most kept player of South Africa, I would say, in the history of South African football. So yeah, basically, as I said earlier on, it's been a difficult ride, but I enjoyed each and every moment of it. Yes and no. As I said, I mean, I've been in few sports, and I never thought I would be really where I am through football. But yeah, as I've been spotted. Football took the first place in my heart. But honestly, I mean, if back in the years, if you would ask me this question now, I would tell you no chance. I always wanted to be a lawyer when I was growing up, and as I said, I mean, football took the first place, and yeah, took me away from my studies, and fortunately I made it through football.
How has professional football changed your life?
It has changed my life really tremendously, I would say. As I said, again, I mean, I'm from the humble beginnings. No father, my mother actually, she's been a pillar in the family, and through football, I managed to change my family's lives and my life really. Now I would say through football, I can change people's lives as well. I grew up very, very difficult. 7 kids in the family. It absolutely been a difficult upbringing for me. But football really have played a big role in changing my life to be the better person, and again not to forget where I come from. So yeah, it has really changed my life. Yes, Arona M Foundation. I've been always involved in so many charities, you know, trying to help, trying to change, more especially kids' lives. But I thought I just want to establish something that will be sustainable, something that will be there for a very long time. I mean, I've got 2 kids, and you know, I just wanted when my kids, when they grow up, to be proud of their father. And that's how actually Arona M Foundation came about. My mom always said to me, never forget where you come from. And I thought, you know, establishing such a foundation, changing people's lives, that can probably, you know, play a big role. So yeah, and fortunately, I mean, Arona M Foundation has done a lot in people's lives, have changed a lot of people's lives. I'm so concerned about kids, you know. I'm a great believer of you know, education and sport. That integration is quite important. So that's where Arona M Foundation comes in. African footballers in Premier League, it's been an experience for all of us, and a great experience. We always wanted to play in Premier League, as we know that Premier League is one of the most, I would say, great league in the world. You know, every country, most of the kids watch Premier League. Premier League, it's been broadcast in so many countries. So we always wanted to, you know, to be part of this league. And to be fair, I mean, we came here and we made this league a challenging league. We have done well. I mean, one thing that you have to be aware of, it's when you come as an African player coming to England, you need to have international caps. And the fact that we managed to get international caps to come and play in Premier League, it's not an easy ride. And coming here as well, I mean, you're playing alongside and against great players. So I can name so many players who have achieved, you know, their goals in England, who won probably titles, who won, you know, so many goals, I would say, in England, and it's been great. Oh yes, I had a couple of role models. My mom, she's the first, and of course, the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, that I have been fortunate to meet a couple of times. He's absolutely been a person that I've been definitely looking upon. And Lucas Radebe, the former captain of South African football, former Leeds captain as well. Those have been my role models. And I think if really you tend to look at those 3 people that I mentioned, they've been through difficult stuff, and they managed to achieve at the end of you know, at the end of the day. So same applies to me. I'm still young. Almost 32. But I have achieved so many things at that you know, short space of time, and I still have goals. So basically, those three people, they kept me going, and they still do. Yeah, no, definitely. I've got the highlights of my career, captaining my country in the first World Cup in African soil, and reaching the milestone 100 caps, the first South African player ever in the history of South African football to earn 100 caps. Playing in an FA Cup final against Chelsea with Portsmouth. The list goes on and on, but just naming three of them, those are my great really highlights. And of course, I mean, leaving my country at a young age. Left South Africa at the age of 17 years. Yeah, I've got so many highlights, but I think those 3-4 are really biggest highlights of my career. The future of African footballers, of course, I mean, we always wanna go back home after a long journey or a difficult career that we had in Europe, and going back a bit. I mean, we left Africa most of us at a young age. So our future really is to go back to Africa and change people's lives. I mean, people really look upon us, not only Africans, but the initial goal for us is to go back to Africa and do whatever that it takes for us to change people's lives. I mean, we can change people's lives in so many ways. We have foundations, we're so influential. So going back home, as we know that Africa it's a poorest continent, in the world. We still feel like we have a role to play. Yeah, the future is back in Africa. It is absolutely back in Africa, and I'm sure, I mean, most of players, that's what they feel as well. I mean, personally, I feel initially I will be going back to South Africa and establish whatever that can change people's lives. Yes, we have politicians and stuff in Africa, but our influence, it's absolutely massive than most big people in Africa. So yeah, we feel like we have to. It's a question of must. We have to go back to Africa and play a role. African footballers standing out. I think really Nwango Kanu for me, Didier Drogba, Michael Essien. Yeah, I can probably write a book. Yeah, those guys actually, paved a way for us, and they have absolutely been outstanding. You wouldn't play for Chelsea if you're not good enough. You wouldn't play for Inter Milan if you're not good enough. We have the Montaris who are still, they're doing their thing. The Prince Boateng, they're there doing their thing. The list goes on really. But those, the Drogbas and the Kanus are players that I think they now grown ups, and we're looking upon them. I know I'm over 30. Probably there are other players saying same stuff about me, but really those guys actually are always showing people that, more especially Africans, that it's possible. It happened to us, so it can happen to any African youngster who wants to be a footballer.